but by God, the torque, Jesus, it just pulls and pulls and pulls. It's like a bloody train. Right guys, hi, how you doing? It is John from Splash. Today we're going to be doing something a little different, and we're going to be going for a drive in our 301 horsepower CDI. Right guys, so as you can probably tell from the sound, I am in a diesel. Yep. Now, this is our CLK 320 CDI, which means it's a 3 litre V6 diesel. Now from factory, these come with around 224 horsepower, which, you know, back then, 15 years ago when this was new, was all right. You know, obviously with the likes of Golf R's, S3s, 135s, you know, this is nothing compared to those. But the good thing about this is the economy and the torque. I mean, woo! You know, it's quick. It's no slouch. It's no slouch at all. Now, we've had ours for probably around 3 years now. We were looking for a black CLK 3 litre diesel with the AMG Sport package on it. There was a budget, and there goes a Golf R. We did have a budget, and the one we found was down in Essex. So when you're driving from Birmingham, it was a good 3.5 hour drive, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. But this was pretty much exactly the spec that we wanted. It's got the xenon headlights, which are quite rare with CLKs. It's also got the climate control system. What else does it have? Electric seats, heated seats. Now, when we were looking for a CLK, you know, it had to be a certain spec. It had to be the 3 litre. It had to be black. Had to have sat nav, xenon headlights, etc. Leather seats, heated seats. And this one we found down in Essex. Now, if you're coming from Birmingham, that's a good 3 hour, 3.5 hour drive. But a lot of the ones we were finding locally, just, they weren't well looked after. They weren't the spec that we wanted. Anyway, drove down, picked this one up, and in the 3-4 years that we've owned it, it has been an absolute dream. It's rarely set a foot wrong. And it's just been brilliant, to be honest. It's been a great daily to have. Now, ours isn't just any old 3 litre CDI. As I said earlier, these had around 224 horsepower from standard. We had ours dynoed at 301 horsepower. Now, in a 3 litre diesel with bags of torque, believe me, it's no slouch. It's quick. It is quick. Now, you know, it's no supercar, it's no M3, but by God, the torque, Jesus, it just pulls and pulls and pulls. It's like a bloody train. It is brilliant. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Now, 301 horsepower, even by today's standards for diesels, you know, you're getting the 335s, Jesus Christ! 335Ds with about 306 horsepower, you know, they're quick. Jesus. So, you know, by today's standards, it is alright. It's not a supercar, it's not a rocket ship, but it is quick. So yeah, 301 horsepower, and I think it was around 700 Newton meters of torque. A lot of torque, bags of torque. This Golf R still ahead of us. They're nice cars, I like them. This one's in blue. We'll just let him go a bit just so we can do a bit of filming. So yeah, 301 horsepower, around 700 Newton meters torque. How did we get to that? So our friends over at DK Tuning in Wolverhampton, go and hit them up. We've had a full exhaust system on the car from the turbo back. It's had a hybrid turbo from, I think it was the guys over at Midlands Turbos in Telford. What else have we had done tuning wise? I think that's it. We've had the quad exhaust, the AMG style out at the back. That just makes it look a lot more aggressive. As a standard exhaust was just a single oval tailpipe on the diesel. So yeah, we had it over at DK Tuning. They did a lot of work on it. We had a fault with the car before it went to them. Turned out that was the fuel pressure sensor on the common rail. Before we had any work done, we had a DT UK tuning box on it. Now I think they're good for around 270 brake. We had that on from the time we bought the car, and that was a big difference, to be honest. That was a big difference over standard power. You could really feel, you know, the extra power and the torque that the tuning box was giving you. But we wanted more, so we got rid of that. Oh, the custom remap, of course, DK Tuning custom remap on the hybrid turbo. And it's been great. It's been absolutely great. Completely transformed the car. And it just means, you know, there's that bit more power when we need it. And you know, we're not saying, you know, we don't condone speeding and all that, keep to the speed limits, but you know, when you need to put your foot down, overtake a lorry, for example, on a dual carriageway, brilliant. You don't even need to drop a gear, put your foot down and the car just for you. So we're just on a dual carriageway now, doing about 60, cruise control on, and it is just a brilliant cruiser. For doing long journeys, it's so smooth, so comfortable. It's just a nice car to be in, and considering that it is, you know, almost 15 years old, it's just so smooth. The V6, silky smooth, you can barely hear it. Drives nicely, the gearbox, smooth. This is the it's a later car, so the earlier cars had a 5-speed auto, and this is one of the few CLKs that's got the 7-speed Tiptronic, same as you find in your earlier C63s, and paddle shifters as well. Gotta love the paddle shifters. I mean, it is just a nice car to drive. It's really comfortable, and the power's there when you need it. Once drove a friend's 400 plus horsepower M135i, and that was ridiculously quick. It scared me, but Do you need that kind of horsepower? I don't know. I mean, I think this could do with being about 350. Another 50 horsepower, and I think this would be absolutely perfect. Just to keep up with, you know, today's, you know, hot hatches, Golf R's, S3s, things like that. 300 horsepower is quick in this, but it could just be that little bit quicker. But I guess, you know, who's ever satisfied with the power that they've got? We're always searching for more. But, you know, this one, it's comfortable. The seats are comfortable. It's got all the mod cons in it. It's just a nice car. So we bought it, like I said earlier, on 78,000 miles, which was quite low back then. We've now just turned 111,000 miles. See, we're doing just over the speed limit now. We're doing about 75, but you don't even realise you're doing it. It's just so comfortable, so comfortable. So as far as MPG goes, now we haven't reset it for a while. We're currently averaging 28.1 to the gallon, which for a diesel, all right, isn't that great. But when you've got 300 brake on tap, 28 to the gallon is, you know, more than enough. I mean, it sounds pretty good for having the straight through exhaust. You know, you can really, you know, hear the grunt. There's no pops or bangs, but it is grunty. And, you know, being a diesel, you know, I'm sure there's diesel owners all over that are trying to get better sound from their car. Straight through exhaust, back box delete, not too loud, and it just gives it that nice rumble. Makes it sound a lot sportier, which is what we were looking for. Just bags of torque, bags of torque. You put your foot down and literally flying. Right guys, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that drive in our CDI. We're going to get back to the unit now and give it a thorough wash down, as it is looking filthy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give us a comment if you like this video. If you want to see more, let us know and we'll see what we can do. Cheers guys.